Today in Iran, large crowds flooded the streets of Tehran for a funeral procession to mourn the dozens of military commanders and nuclear scientists killed in the 12-day conflict with Israel. Meanwhile, in response to the U.S. bombings of Iranian nuclear facilities, the Senate has once again failed to rein in President Trump's powers. Last night, in a 53-47 vote, they rejected a war powers resolution, which would have blocked Trump from using further military force against Iran without congressional approval. Senator Rand Paul was the lone Republican to vote yes for the legislation.
The American people are sick and tired of sending their children to fight and die in war zones on the other side of the world with no tangible U.S. interest at stake. Abdicating our constitutional responsibility by allowing the executive branch to unilaterally introduce U.S. troops into wars is an affront to the Constitution and to the American people.
This week, lawmakers in both the House and Senate received classified briefings on the bombing of Iran's nuclear sites, emerging divided. Democratic Whip Congresswoman Katherine Clark said that the briefing left her with, quote, more concerns and a true lack of clarity on how we are defining the mission and the success of it. That briefing came after a preliminary classified U.S. report was leaked on Tuesday that said the strikes had only set Iran's nuclear program back by a few months. President Trump continues to double down on this claim.
Their sites were obliterated. They're very evil nuclear sites. They were, now has been proven. We had some fake news for a little while. Time will tell. But I don't believe that they're going to go back into nuclear anytime soon.
Joining us now is Missy Ryan, staff writer at The Atlantic. Missy, I guess I want to start there. The president says continues to say the sites were obliterated, and that has been proven. That does not seem to be in line with reporting from our colleagues who cover this beat, and even how other members of the administration are talking about it, right? Him and Pete Hegseth, I think, are the only two that have used the word obliterated. The Joint Chiefs of Staff chairman has said that severely damaged, which those two are not the same thing.
Well, as you mentioned, there is consensus from Hegseth and Trump, from other members of the intelligence community, from the uniformed military, and even from the IAEA, that there was severe damage to these nuclear sites. That doesn't seem to be in dispute. What is in dispute is the impact on Iran's ability to restart its program, whether or not it's completely knocked out, as Trump and Hegseth are suggesting, or whether it will have the capacity within months or years to reconstitute the program. There's another big outstanding question that Trump, Vance, Hegseth have not addressed clearly, which is the fate of the enriched uranium that Iran had, whether or not it was in the Fordo and Natanz facilities and that were attacked, or whether they were moved. And that question also will inform how Iran will be able to reconstitute its program in the future.
So Missy, there's been a lot of talk and consternation about that leaked initial assessment of the bombing. There was a headline Thursday: White House to limit intelligence sharing with Congress after leak of early Iran report. But there was a briefing. Listen to we have a mashup of sound from lawmakers from yesterday and from Thursday after they received a classified briefing. We'll talk about it on the other side.
It is clear, everyone can see by the videos, that these massive ordnance penetrating bombs did the job.
We've been told that there are still additional reports that have not been provided to Congress. So show the report. With a real battle damage assessment, please stand up.
President Trump said that the nuclear stockpile was completely and totally obliterated. I did not receive an adequate answer to that question.
We have struck a major blow alongside our friends in Israel against Iran's nuclear program.
I walk away from that briefing still under the belief that we have not obliterated the program. The president was deliberately misleading the public.
And so, Missy, just what we heard there were Republicans lauding what happened, coming out of the briefing, Democrats still having questions. And so I guess my big question is, it seems to me that there is a palpable lack of trust between Democrats and what they're seeing out of these intelligence briefings, and whether they can even trust the briefings. Help unravel all of this.
Yeah, I think there's two issues at play here, Jonathan. And one is the fact that typically it does take days at least, and sometimes weeks, to develop a really robust and credible assessment of something as complicated, highly protected, and frankly underground in all senses of the word program like Iran's nuclear program. The United States clearly has satellite imagery, as does Israel, which has shown deep penetration of Iran's nuclear program. But, they're going to have to rely on other sources because, you can't see underground from the air. They have to rely on other sources to figure out what actually happened. And that'll include signals intelligence, which, that isn't necessarily immediate. And also there's a question of whether the UN inspectors will be allowed back into these facilities at some point. So that's one thing. It's a question of time. And then, as you alluded to, there is really a question of trust and the impact that I think we're seeing on the politicization of intelligence. So when the intelligence agencies are perceived by Democrats to be subject to manipulation by President Trump and their politically appointed leaders, I think that's where you have this mistrust coming in. And, I think that unfortunately is something that is occurring throughout our national security agencies and a challenge to our institutions. So far, at least, we seem to see the uniformed military leadership trying to steer clear of this. You saw General Kane, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, standing next to Hegseth and really trying to give a straight assessment and not get into the verbiage. It wasn't obliterated, blown to the sky, things like that. But, these institutions are going to be vulnerable to politicization and mistrust.
One thing that we all know, and I have to go to commercial, I wish we could keep talking about this, but that we all know on this panel, that a lot of reporters and folks that pay attention to Donald Trump know, Donald Trump has often made a claim, and then his team has to work very quickly to kind of make that true. Usually it's on domestic policy. This seems to be a time in which using the word obliterated immediately after he got the all clear on this. Everyone's working to make that clear now, make that true. Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Missy Ryan of The Atlantic, thank you very much for coming to The Weekend.